Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping and Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your screens. This is Robert Whittaker. It is not Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith will be joining us later. Robert, I know it's the crack of dawn in Sydney, Australia. Thank you very much. Wanted to talk to you for a long time. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No, thanks for having me. I've been wanting to get on for a while.
Sydney, one of my favorite cities in the world, mate. Are you born and raised there?
Is that better?
So much better.
You sound delightful.
No, I was born in New Zealand, and almost immediately I was brought over to Sydney, and I've been fully raised in Sydney, and I do love it. Having travelled, the many places of the world, I have a soft spot for Sydney, but it's very multicultural. You'll know because you've been here so many times, and there's a lot to do.
Mate, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Whereabouts in Sydney are you? Not that I'll know it, but you never know. I know Penrith and Sydney. That's about it. Whereabouts are you?
Funny enough, sort of near there. I've grown up everywhere. I grew up out in the Shire, and I lived in the city. But I know as I've gotten older, I've started drifting further and further out into the sticks to get some space. Right. Yeah, that's where I'm holed up now.
Well, as I say, I'm jealous. But welcome to the show, Robert. Thanks for joining us. I do appreciate it. Lots of stuff to talk about. I guess real quick, we'll just talk about next week, UFC 284. I mean, massive event. I'm gutted that you're not on it. I mean, you versus Paulo Costa. That was supposed to happen. So what happened there? I think it was all Costa's fault, right?
Yeah. And even if it wasn't, I'm still going to blame him. But,
of course.
But yeah, no, I was. I'm upset because whenever a fight falls through, that means you're not getting paid for a little bit longer, as well as all the work that you've put up. You've put in the bank up until that point. It's it's kind of for naught. And then the fact that the fight didn't go through and I wasn't given any other timeline. I've been in a kind of limbo, no man's land. If you catch you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Yeah, with Costa, though, the whole situation was a little weird because I had heard reports that people are saying, oh, Costa's tweeting this, Costa's tweeting that, it's not happening. And that's kind of the thing he does. So I never took much stock into it. And I remember speaking to a couple of guys, a couple of interviews saying, like, no, he's just joking. Obviously, he's just trying to get in my head. And then next minute, I got a call saying the fight's not happening.
Mate, well, I'm sorry. When do you think you will be back in there? Any ideas on who it might be next? Will it even be Costa? Is that on the table?
Mate, honestly, your guess is as good as mine because you have to think if UFC wanted me to fight someone, like really wanted me to get on that card and fight someone, I could have. They got Strickland in after a moment's notice.
Yeah.
For the first card of the year. So they could have made that fight happen. They obviously have other designs and plans for me. I was thinking Pereira perhaps because just the timelines, the way things worked up. But then the Adesanya Pereira fight got announced for April. So honestly, your guess is as good as mine. I'd love to brainstorm a little bit.
I mean, I might have heard something the other day from the UFC, but I'm in no position to say anything. Give us a little hint. Give us a hint.
It's your career. We'll play 20 questions.
I can't say a goddamn thing. I'll get fired, especially publicly on a goddamn podcast. My God. I'm doing my ADD mind all over the place. But you just mentioned Izzy Pereira. So screw UFC 284. We're going to talk about that. When that fight went down in Madison Square Garden, what was your thoughts, Rob? Obviously, you have chaired the octagon with him twice. You've come razor close to taking the belt off him. And obviously, Pereira is the one to go out there and do it. Talk me through it from your perspective.
Mate, they're phenomenal fighters. Just the skill caliber of that fight. And this is how I expected to see that sort of fight, which was more or less a kickboxing match with small gloves, with a little dash of MMA.
Dash.
Yeah, just a dash, like not too much. And that's what we got, and of the highest caliber. It truly was a really good fight to watch. You saw Pereira fight through adversity in the first round. You saw the fight drag out. You saw how the fighters themselves started to change when they started landing shots. Yeah, honestly, I left the fight watching it. It was a good fight to watch, but I left the fight really understanding just like, these two guys are absolute killers in the division,
Yeah, without question. However, though, you must have been looking at that fight and when Pereira won it. And no disrespect to Izzy because he's phenomenal. He's one of the greatest strikers that we've got. MMA-wise, the grappling, the takedowns, the defense is great, but the takedowns weren't exactly the best. And Pereira didn't have the best defense. So you must have been thinking, just give me a chance. Put me in there with Pereira and I will double leg him all over the place. Is that what you were thinking?
Mate, I was thinking that for Adesanya as well. I'm chomping at the bit to get at both of them. I truly do feel that, I can take myself to a new level. I do feel like I can get in there and I can put on a better performance. I kind of understand where Adesanya was mentally, I guess, going into the rematch after losing twice to the same guy. It was a very similar predicament with me and Adesanya, me and himself. And I do believe that, him getting through the fights the way he did and the way everything's gone, like the next fight's the best one. But then it is what it is. I do want that fight. I do believe that I use mixed martial arts better than both of those guys. I do believe I can utilize my wrestling and grappling to just really make it a hellish match for both of them.
Well, that's a fact, Robert. You do. You are far more well-rounded. And we'll get to you in a minute. Last question on Izzy and Pereira. The rematch. What do you think? I mean, 3-0 to Pereira so far. I got to say, I respect Izzy for going in there. He could have stepped aside, maybe let you get in there and fight for the belt against Pereira. Then maybe he comes back. But he's stepping in there, having lost 3 in a row to the man. What do you think happens?
I guess I think if we look at the fight just from a mental perspective, I believe Adesanya had a better chance last fight. But in saying that, though, maybe now that the worst has happened again, it frees him up for the next one. It can go. It can. Yeah. You can see where it can swing both ways really easily. It can either swing one way where it frees him up. The worst has happened. Whatever. And he gets in there like mentally free, or he's worried about it happening again with the small gloves because it had happened.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. That honestly, skill wise, he could have beat him skill wise last time. It was just it was a close fight. There wasn't much.
It was. And Izzy was ahead 3-1, big time. Pereira's gigantic. Have you ever met him? I met him for the first time at UFC 282, and I was like, holy cow, how do you make 185?
Mate, that was the one thing I truly took away from that fight was just that Pereira's a freaking giant.
He's a monster.
Because I know, I don't think the cameras do it justice how big Adesanya is. Adesanya is a big dude, especially when he's standing face to face. Like, you're always looking up at him because he's 6'4", he's a massive guy. And then Pereira, just like his bone structures, like his hands were bigger, his feet were bigger, his head's bigger. He looked much bigger than Adesanya. So
Yeah, no, he's a monster. Anyway, enough about them two. Let's talk about you. I want to go back to Paris, September last year. Mate, we spoke afterwards. We had a little chat. That performance was one of the best performances. The lads I worked with on BT Sport, Adam and Nick, great guys. I don't know if you know them. We were just blown away by that, mate. That was one of your best performances. And it's crazy to see because you're always improving, Rob. You've been at the top of the game for so long now. Other than Adesanya, there's no middleweight, if I'm not mistaken, that's beating you. And you're still getting better. How old are you now, Rob?
32.
32. Well, geez, Louise, you're still a kid, aren't you? With respect, you're still a very, very young man. You're still in your prime, you son of a bitch. But that performance was just incredible. And Marvin Vettori is as tough as they come, right? And he's a proud fighter, just like we all are, right? And afterwards, I had a little chat with Marvin because we're pretty friendly. And he said to me, Mike, I couldn't do anything. He said, Rob was just so good. He was so in and out. He said, I just couldn't catch him. And I thought that was very honest, obviously, of Marvin Vettori, but it just highlighted how good you were again, because it's very rare you'll ever see a fighter who's as proud as someone like Marvin to just be so honest and say, there was nothing I could do. I mean, yeah, congratulations, mate. What a performance.
No, thank you very much. And I really respect Marvin for that approach on the fight, because sometimes you just the night's not yours, and you can't really point any excuses towards it. And to be fair, excuses just hold you back, because then you have nothing to work with. You're just hoping that the next night's different, So I think his approach on it is the best way to grow, because he's still a young dude and a stellar stud as well. So I think his approach is just going to lead to bigger things. But I was very proud of that fight. So a big thing that I've taken in my approach of training since that, it was a little bit before the second Adesanya fight, but especially since the second Adesanya fight, it was just that I'm trying to tune up my skill set a little bit, and in a way that a lot of my career, up until I lost Adesanya the first time, a lot of my career I got away with things because of just of my physical attributes and just how I fight, because I have good eyes and I'm very fast. I hit hard. I can take a shot. But just because of my attributes, I was able to get away with a lot of, a lot of like little gaps in my striking and whatnot. And but just because I was just faster than people. I was faster than people. I had eyes to avoid and dodge the shots. But once we reach the level of Adesanya, where you reach those strikers where it's like a 0.5% difference is all you need to get hurt, and you saw that in the first fight with Adesanya. It's you have to tune it up, and that's what I've been really focusing on a lot before the second Adesanya fight, but especially since the second Adesanya fight. I've just been really tightening up the striking and the game plan, like closing every gap that that was there.
And what does that look like, Rob? To the layperson that's listening to this. I mean, are you bringing in new coaches, different training partners? I mean, what does that look like? Tightening those gaps.
I guess so I've got a lot of the same coaches. I've got the same coaching staff that I had for the second Adesanya fight. But I guess my mentality on trying to change it has changed. Has shifted, right? Because everyone knows when you try something different, it feels clumsy. It feels like it'll never work. The problem, I think, a lot of fighters, experienced fighters, or guys in their field, trade, job, anywhere really, fall into is that because they've done it for so long and because they've had so much success with it for so long, they think, no, I don't need to change it. Yeah. I just need to make it better. So I've thrown that out and I go, well, let's just change it all back. I'll change my entire style, stick with it, stay the plan. And well, the first little sighting of that was with Vettori, and you could see I had a much tighter boxing, like things were just coming out much smoother, faster, crisper.
And that's the great thing about mixed martial arts, always evolving. You know what I mean? As you said, just when you think you've got it nailed, you've got it covered, then other people come in or the techniques develop. Like I remember in my career, I've never taken a calf kick. They didn't exist.
They weren't there.
Yeah, they just weren't a thing. Thank God. What do they feel like, Rob? Because I'm very happy and proud to say I've never taken one, because they look like they can kill.
Yeah, they are stupid, to be honest. Like because you know what it is. I think they are a beautiful kick for the amount of investment you need to put in. The return is 100-fold. You know what I mean?
There's no risk,
mate. I could go spar my wife and she'd calf kick me and I'd be done. You know what I mean? Give her three good calf kicks. Don't teach her whatever you do.
Yeah.
So,
oh my word.
But like, you don't need to know how to kick. You don't need the flexibility. You don't need the prerequisites to be a kicker. You don't need to be a kicker to throw a calf kick. That's the beauty of it. And because it's such a small muscle, like it just destroys people. It destroys
you can't
legs.
Condition your calves. Like your thighs to a certain degree. My old Thai boxing coach, Daz Morris, you could kick him as hard as you wanted in the leg, but because he'd done it his entire life, he would never feel it, or pretended he couldn't feel it at least. Calves, I doubt you can condition them like that.
Yeah, well, and another thing is, like, once you've been kicked in the calf, the next check doesn't come up as fast, and you just keep getting kicked in the calf. Because there's a lot of times you check a kick and you don't quite get it on the shin, and it hits your calf. It wraps around a little bit, you know what I mean? And if your calf's already damaged, it just keeps chipping away, eating up. That's why you see so many dudes get finished with calf kicks. But I will say it is a double-edged sword, because once you get the guy that knows, like a kickboxer, like you saw in the Izzy Pereira fight, Izzy went for that low calf kick. Pereira just put his shin up a little bit, just turned his leg a little bit. And I think Izzy fell over because of it. Like his foot gave out, because it's once you get a guy that can check it, it is dangerous. You're breaking legs. You saw with Weidman as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. Australian mixed martial arts, Robert. Of course, you are the first Australian champion. Hold on. If you were born in New Zealand, do you class yourself as Australian or New Zealand?
I'm Australian because that's what my passport says, and I was fully raised here, and I'm very proud to be Australian. But I am Australian, New Zealand. I'm also proud of my New Zealand roots.
So you kind of rep both at the same time. But you are the first Australian champ, then, if I'm not mistaken. And the sport has grown massively over the last 10 years or so in Australia. I remember when I think it was 2011, right before I moved here, we were going to move out to Australia because my wife's Australian, and we love the country, we love the people, but the scene wasn't necessarily where I thought it needed to be. And I said to my wife, I said, I'm going to be jumping on planes all the time and going to America. Whereas if we live in America, I'll just be driving to the gym and coming back. But now it's absolutely exploding, Robert. I mean, you must have seen such a change. I mean, when did you sign with the UFC? Like 2008, 9, something like that?
Something like that. Maybe 12.
Right. But it must have changed a lot since your involvement.
Yeah, mate, night and day. And you would know, you've been in the game the whole time as well, and you've been to Australia enough times. Just when I got into the scene, there wasn't really a scene. You know, amateur MMA fights wasn't a thing. I didn't even know they existed until 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Because when I first did my local scene MMA fight, there was just straight pro. There was no amateur scene. And there weren't any gyms. There was no information. I remember having to like go on the internet and go in how to cut weight, like because there just wasn't
how to cut weight. Mate, it's all there.
You should, but even then, it wasn't as widely known as now. I remember, mate, I had the worst weight cuts going through my early days just because of like all the misinformation that would come up. Like there was a lot of them like wrestling weight cuts, and they're crazy, dude. Like, absolutely nut jobs. Like the way they cut weight, but I was like, that's what was on the internet. So I was like, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. But yeah, there wasn't really a scene. And that's why when I first got into the UFC, I traveled a little bit to train. I went to TriStar for about a year because that was the idea. That was the idea at the time, was that if you want to make it in the UFC, you got to go to the US to get the sparring partners, to get the training, because that's where it is. Mm-hmm. But after, I didn't really have the greatest success over there, which either was more due to the fact that I wasn't approaching it correctly. Came back, started training the boys up, getting the guys here, just putting in the work here. Realized didn't need to travel as much. The scene blew up. I'm proud of the fact that I was I had a part in growing the scene the way it did, and it just kept building and building. And then every second guy you speak to now is an MMA fighter or training jiu-jitsu, or you can get sparring anytime you want from anyone. Like there's always a battler around just ready to throw down with you.
And the level of striking in Australia as well is very good, because I think there's a big history of Thai boxing. You've always loved Thai boxing out there. Every time I went to Thailand, there was always Australians in the Thai boxing gyms, good boxers.
Australians love Thailand, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe for different reasons.
Any excuse, and they're at Bali or Thailand doing a Thai training camp.
My mate Jacko's in Bali every other bloody weekend. He lives in Perth. And talking to Perth, obviously 284 next weekend, I'm going to be working with you, I believe, on the weighing show, and we're doing a little thing together for Fox Sports, I think, as well. So are you doing a lot of like the UFC TV stuff out there now?
I'm looking to do more. it's a field that I'm interested in getting into. And yeah, you know, with 284, I'm not fighting. I'm still going to go out there because you know, I wanted to watch the fight. Plus, I promised so many people that I would go there still. So I have to go there. And the fact that I'm there and I'm able to you know, test the water of this sort of you know, this new field is, yeah, you know, it's interesting.
Well, I mean, you got to do something when you retire. I'm sure you've got lots of options, and you're only 32, so you've got many, many years left in you yet. Volkanovski, Islam. What do you think, Rob, from your analytical point of view? Tough fight, but I think a tough fight for both men. I think a lot of people are underestimating Volkanovski in this one, but how do you see that one going down?
I don't think there's a fight in the world I can ever truthfully say that Volkanovski is an underdog. I think Volkanovski is just, and this is absolutely unbiased, trust me. Like, he is just a powerhouse. He has a very, very well-rounded skill set, and he has the experience and ability to strike when he needs to strike, take down when he needs to take down, and mix it up. That is such a dominant way to fight, you know, approach to fighting. And you saw that when he fought numerous different fights going up through the ranks, like your Aldos, your Mendes, is like he changed it up. It was your Holloways. You can see he has the skill set. What I find hard to really gauge with Islam is that, much like Khabib, when Khabib was running through people through his reign, it's like, because of the dominant performance and showing they always put on when they get in there, and like, obviously they're known for their wrestling. Like, he takes people down and he holds them down and he finishes them. That's what happens. You don't know how good his wrestling is until you're like, oh, well, he hasn't fought this guy. Then he fights that guy and he smashes that guy. And you're like, well, he hasn't fought this guy. Like, you're always kind of wondering how good is his wrestling. Like, you're waiting until there's a guy he can't take down. Because you can't, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I can't truly believe he can just take down everyone as easily as he has been. But he has, you know.
But that's the belief, isn't it? I mean, from them, the Dagestanis, Khabib and Islam and his crew at least, they truly believe that they can just take down whoever they want and beat them up and submit them on the ground. And as you said, to your point, even Khabib and Islam, other than when he got clipped off Adriano Martins, the one loss on his record, and hey, we all get caught sometimes. Other than that, they have done that. So I guess, I mean, have you trained with Volk? I'm assuming you have.
Through the years, not recently,
right?
But like through back when he, like, I think first got in the UFC, or even beforehand, like, and nothing recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stupid question for me to ask you. Who have you got winning this fight? There's no way on earth are you going to go against an Australian, I'd assume. But who have you got winning this fight, Rob?
Mate, it's such an unsure fight. Like, because like I said, but you have to have belief in Islam's wrestling the same way Khabib was. Like, you just, but then you want, like, there's always that, but what if you can't take him down? You know what I mean? Because
I think if you can't take him down, he's kind of screwed. I think Volk's way better on the feet.
That's exactly what I think. I think if Islam can't get him down, then that's the fight. I think, because Volk just pieces him up over 5 rounds, because Volk's striking is good. He hits hard. He can take a shot. He's got cardio for days. Like, he's working.
So you've been in there with Yoel Romero twice, and Yoel Romero, I guess you can kind of make some comparisons, right? He was an Olympic, was he gold medalist or bronze?
Silver.
An Olympic silver medalist, a ridiculously ripped and strong and explosive human being, just a freak of nature. And you beat him twice. So if you could give any, not that he needs your advice, but what would you say, having been in there with somebody like that? You know, I mean, what advice could you pass down to Volk from a very, very humble perspective, of course?
Well, it's kind of your generic, and this isn't advice for Volk. This is just your general advice for fighting wrestlers. Like, someone you know is going to be really heavily focused on the wrestling, but you know you have a striking advantage. It's just to not overcommit with strikes, and keep everything straight line. It's like, so you work your teep kicks, you work your straight line kicks, you work your straight jabs, you work your straight crosses, you keep your combos down to a maximum of 2, and you take your time. Take your time, you be patient. You know what I mean?
The combos, the maximum of 2, 100%. You stand there in the pocket long enough, they're going to get a hold of you. They're going to shoot, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I've never been to Perth, Rob. Are you familiar with the place?
I've been several times. I have.
What do you recommend? I'm going with my wife. She's been there. She's got friends there. But what are like some must-do things whilst I'm there? You know, hey, bearing in mind, I'm on a work trip. I'm taking it easy.
Yeah. There's so I don't like Perth to me isn't my holiday pick of like, you know, it's like it's not around the corner. It's like
that's what no, but my wife said as well. She said, I'm not sure if you're gonna like Perth. She said it's very, very, she said it's beautiful. The nature's beautiful. She said, but the place itself, she said, I don't know if you'll like it. I'm sure it's great. I have no idea what she's talking about because I've never been there.
You see, like I like nature and everything to an extent, but if I could pick between nature or a bustling city with some shopping and like malls and things like that, I pick the malls. I like that sort of stuff. But there's honestly the only thing that comes to mind when we go to when you say Perth is that Rottnest Island with the little guinea pig looking things, quackers on them. Like you catch a boat out there, see the quackers, and then.
That's what we were going to do. We've got one day off. I said, babe, why don't we go to Rottnest Island? And she's like, well, we've done it. And she said, I've done it. She said, it's a full day. She said, you won't like it. You basically get there and you take a boat. Rob, I believe when I'm out there on the Wayne show, we're going head to head. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Are we?
We're going head to head, bro. We're finally going to get it on. In the octagon. On the PlayStation game. On the PlayStation game. But you are an avid gamer. If it was Street Fighter 2, I would kick the living shit out of you, bro.
Absolutely no hope. Maybe we can see if we can get it because I'm better at Street Fighter than I am at any other
I can't play the UFC game. My son Luke has only just started playing it, and he kicks the shit out of me.
I cannot play that game as well. Maybe we'll see if we can get Street Fighter in there as well.
I'll try. I'll ask them, but I'm sure they want to promote the game. You know what I mean? Street Fighter 2. What character are we talking, Rob?
I play Akuma.
Who the fuck is Akuma?
He's
one of the newer ones.
Yeah, like he's got the red hair. He's like Ryu, but he shoots fireballs in the air.
Right.
Or I'll play Ryu then. I'll play Ryu.
I'm Ryu or Ken. Yeah, all day long. Hold on, what's this? Brian's. Oh, okay. There he is. Do you know what one of my biggest regrets in life, or certainly not in life, in my UFC career, and I think I might have told you this, when I walked in and challenged you after Yoel Romero, because like you're the nicest guy, and I've got so much respect for your career, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play it all cool. Rob's awesome. I'll go in there, be super respectful, and then I walked in, and I don't know if it's because I was in the octagon. Do you know what I mean? And I just like had a shift, and you were standing there looking ripped and jacked, and like a bit of blood trickling down your face, and you were glistening, and you've just beaten Yoel, and you've got a belt on. I thought, let's just go full on promo mode, like a total knobhead. So for what it's worth, I apologize.
I have the video if you guys want to watch it.
No, I think we've all seen it. No. I don't want to see it.
I was there.
Yeah, he was there. And anyone that hasn't seen it, you can go and bloody Google. But yeah, my bad, Rob. I apologize.
It's all good, mate. It's all good.
Yeah. So in a perfect world, when do you think you're going to fight? When's it going to happen?
Mate, that's $1 million question, isn't it? Honestly, I have no. You seem to have a better idea of what's happening than I do.
No, they were just saying that maybe we'll get Robert on a card in the future. There was a card we were talking about, and they said, "Oh, hopefully we'll try and get Robert on that one."
I think I don't know, April, May. That would be the timeline because if we're looking at like big cards, like they're the only ones that really haven't been booked and filled out yet. Names, I don't know. Do I rematch Cannonier? Do I fight potentially somebody else? Who do I fight? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I heard the little girls screaming in the background.
It's the morning breakfast run before we race out the door for school, so it's just chaos. Yeah, that's been happening since 6 a.m.
How old are the girls?
My girl is 5 now, and then
a boy and a girl, is it? My bad.
Yeah, I got 3 boys and 1 girl.
Oh wow, you got 3 boys as well.
Yeah.
How old are the boys?
7 or 8. 8, 6, and 2.
Right. Okay. What about the 8-year-old? Does he care what you do? Because my youngest is 12. He's just started like figuring it out. It's pretty cool that his dad used to be the UFC champ. When I was competing, he did not care less.
Yeah. No, definitely. My kids just do not care. They like the video game. So as long as when I come home and he's like, help me, and I jump on it and I get through the level or whatever he's doing, I'm the biggest hero he's ever seen. Like I become almost like a god in his eyes. But anything else, he does not care. Not a lick.
So with the video games, the gaming, should I say? I sound like such a boomer. With the video games, is it Twitch? Is that what you're streaming on?
Yeah, I haven't for a while, just because training in the gym and a lot of stuff is just life's busy, mate. But when I do stream, it's on through Twitch.
And what's the go-to game? What is your? Oh no, should I say what's your number 1 game of all time? I used to be a bit of a gamer, but not so much these days.
Oh, of all time, probably Morrowind. You know, it's a Bethesda game. It's like you just make a little character, run around, do whatever you want.
Right. Never heard of it. Never heard of it whatsoever. We won't keep you too much longer, Rob, because I know you got things to do. Who was or what was Robert? I often ask this one. Robert Whittaker as a young man, as a kid, what was he like? What was young Rob like?
Oh, mate. I was very competitive. I was sporty. Loved me video games. Played too many of them. Yeah, that's about it.
Bit of a scrapper.
You know? I didn't stray away from it, but I didn't. Not too much, to be honest. I wasn't.
Right.
It was always just because I'm a competitive dude, you know, and I like combat sports. So to be competitive and like combat, you know, you're fighting.
And what about martial arts? When did that come into your life?
I've done it my whole life, like since I was 7. I've started karate. Yeah, started karate, and I've just kept doing it the whole way through. Yeah.
Nice. All right, so a lifelong martial artist. Harrington, are you there, please? I think Harrington, our producer, normally goes to Twitter and gets a few questions on Twitter. So I apologize for his appearance. I've told him time and time again to try and make an effort, especially when we've got MMA royalty on. Harrington, jeez Louise, come on.
Dude, I did my beard for this show.
Go on, buddy. Over to you. What have we got?
Okay, so Robert, you are not the only. Israel Adesanya is not the only former middleweight champion who's an anime fan. Adam D wants to know how many fights could you win in the Baki universe type tournament, and how would you approach a fight with Baki himself?
See that is completely dependent on if I were to go into the Baki universe, would I get anime-ified? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Would my abilities become anime-esque? Because I assume there's some sort of transference where it's like, so a normal dude, and then you put him in an anime and he becomes Goku. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it depends how much my transfer ability can.
Hold on. How would you know? Are you following this?
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm following the concept of going into an anime universe. I'm picturing you with like giant Reaper sights for hands now. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, with the yellow Goku hair.
Yeah.
Whatever verse that is, what do you mean, Rob? Like if you went into the metaverse, is that a similar kind of comparison?
Well, like if you got put into Street Fighter 2, would you just be Bisping while everyone's throwing fireballs? Like, or would you
shoot lasers out of one eye?
Yeah, would you get some sort of abilities because you're now a Street Fighter character? You know what I mean? That's what I'm sort
bloody
of
well hope so. I got it. I see.
Otherwise, nobody's gonna be picking you because you can't.
Yeah, exactly. The crap English characters. Like no one wants him. Hold on. That's a good one. The worst character on Street Fighter 2. Who would you go? Who do you never pick? I mean, I guess they've all got. I'm talking the classics here.
Zangief,
eh?
Yeah, I don't know, because his atomic buster or whatever the hell it was too hard for me to do. Anyway. He's good if you can do the whole rotation stick fucking things.
Yeah,
and you just use power bomb everyone to oblivion. But
mate, We're going to go head to head on Street Fighter 2 one day. I can't wait for it. Go on, Harrington.
All right. Let's see here. Ski wants to know when the fight between Bisping and GSP went down, UFC 217. Who would you have rather fought, assuming the winner stays in the UFC, no retirements, nothing crazy?
What's it now, bad? Why would you ask that question?
That's a great question.
That was a shit performance by me. But go ahead.
No, I would. I'd rather fight. Who was it? GSP.
Yeah,
GSP.
of course. Man's a legend.
Yeah.
Man's a legend.
No, not for that. Just because, like, he you were an established middleweight. You were comfortable. Like you knew how, like, you knew what you were good at, and you implemented your game plan that way. George didn't look comfortable. You know, I think, like, it's just I don't know. He just didn't look comfortable, and because he
was pretty fucking comfortable when he was choking me out.
Yeah, but no, that was because he just caught you before. Like,
no, I'm kidding. Just real quick, talking of that, Rob, because you came up from 170 to 185. How many pounds do you cut fight week?
Like right now?
No. Let's say you've been through a training camp. It's fight week. How much over 185 are you? You know, when it comes to a hard cut.
So fight week, probably, what am I? I'll probably, at the beginning of a week, maybe 90 kegs, 90 plus kilos. And then I get to what, 84?
84.
That's like 6 or 7 kilos over the week.
What are you right now? About 90 kilo?
Right now, about 100.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Really? So that's 220 for the American audience. 220 pounds. My word.
Yeah.
My word. Harrington, one more. Make it a good one, because Rob's a busy man. I know he's got things to do. I said we keep him 15 minutes. I think we've kept him way longer. So my apologies, Rob. Last one, Harrington.
All right. Probably the most asked question for you for this Twitter thing that I put out. Has the Hamzat fight been offered to you? Right? Is there any interest in fighting Hamzat? If it hasn't been, and if it has been, you know, was there any complication that held it up?
No, it's never been offered to me. And to be fair, I thought we were friends. Like, I thought we were building an alliance. You know, from things he had said, I thought we were going to run amok on people. But no, you see, that's also one of the rumor mills of that's been thrown out now and then of who I'm fighting next. So it hasn't. It's purely speculation. But I got no idea.
Okay. All right. Well, on that point, we'll let you go, Rob. I will see you down in Perth. You get polishing up those skills, buddy, because I'm coming for you.
Mate, I'm not even. I'm
I'm 100%
going to just rock up.
I'm going to get murdered. Mate, looking forward to seeing you down there. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Oh. Here is the one, the only, the very late, should I say the always late to the party, Anthony Smith. Anthony, Rob's just jumping off. Do you want to just say hello real quick?
I do. Robert Whittaker is my favorite fighter.
G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
You just missed it.
Well, I'm late.
We're just signing
and
off.
I missed it. I know. I'm trying to be ready to be a world champion here, Mike. I'm trying to train.
No, I know. I'm joking. I'm busting your balls, mate. I'm teasing you. But I said to Rob, we're keeping 15 minutes. It's been about 35, so we got to let him go. Rob, you're the man. Thanks again, brother.
Too easy. Thanks for having me, guys.
Take care, man.
All right, guys, let's just take a quick second to hear from a new sponsor, which is Manta Sleep. High-level athletes and performers know that quality sleep is the foundation for everything good that happens in your life. And you know, if you don't get a good night's sleep, the next day is just bloody awful. You do not operate at your maximum potential. So, driven by belief, Manta is on a mission to give light sleepers control and mastery over their sleep. With Manta Sleep, you can maximize the enjoyment of life and unlock your full potential. The masks are 100% blackout for deeper sleep. They are made of soft, breathable, and durable materials, so you will never worry about it stretching out or falling off. Check out the brand new Sound Mask, which features razor-thin Bluetooth headphones with a 20-hour battery life. As always, Manta features a 60-day risk-free trial and free shipping in the USA. So go to the website, mantasleep.com, and see their full selection of sleep accessories. Listen, we're talking sleep masks, okay? These masks, you put them on, they're super comfortable. We got sent a few of them. They do work. You want to take a little nap? I love a good nap. I just put on the Manta Sleep mask, boom, lie on the couch. I'm out like a light, right? You can't see a thing. It's like it's in the middle of the night, but it's the middle of the day. So wherever you are, you stick on the Manta and off you pop. You get a good night's sleep. We've got a bunch of different types though. So go to the website. You'll see there's all different kind of ones. As I said, there's some there that have Bluetooth headphones on, so on and so forth. They offer a 60-day risk-free trial and free shipping, as I said. So go to the mantasleep.com. That's the website, M-A-N-T-A, mantasleep.com. See their full selection of sleep accessories. They have body pillows, they have weighted blankets, sleep machines, anything that you think you might need to assist you in getting to sleep. Or if you need something to assist you in getting to sleep, go to mantasleep.com. Check out all of their sleep accessories. So be sure to check out mantasleep.com. Use the promo code Bisping, 10% off. The perfect gift for yourself or that light sleeper that everybody knows. Manta, sleep better, anywhere, anytime. Okay, let's get back into it. He's gone out with the Whittaker, in with the Smith. How are you, buddy? You well?
Out with the good, in with the shit.
Oh, come on. I love perfect timing.
I love Robert Whittaker.
He's the man. He is the absolute man. I was just saying to him, one of my cringe moments was when I stepped in the ring and acted like an idiot, because he's just one of the coolest human beings on planet Earth. And then when you combine it with the fact that he's just such an amazing fighter. I mean, the skills that he has are unbelievable, but then in person, he's cool. He's got a good sense of humor. He's humble. He's down to earth. He's a family man. He's a gamer. He thinks he can beat me on Street Fighter 2. He's out of his mind. Other than that, he's a good dude.
Yeah, dude, he's watching him fight is one of my favorite things. It really is. He's just so well-rounded. He can do it all. He's in constant motion. His fight with Vettori,
yep,
was one of the most impressive performances I think that he's ever had. Not necessarily because of the name that he beat. I got a lot of respect for Vettori and how difficult he makes fights for people, but like you could see, he kind of just felt out that first round. You know, he didn't push really hard. He just it was like it was the first time I'd seen him take a step back a little bit and just read what was happening. And then second and third round, he pitched a shutout. It was insane to watch.
Yeah, to watch him work, it really is phenomenal. It really is. But we went over all that, Anthony.
I know.
We did. We talked about it. You're late. What can I tell you? So you're training, buddy. What for? What are you training for?
Well, got his fight coming up, Mike.
We got to
trying to be a world champion like you,
but I knew one fell out.
Yeah.
Do we have a new one? Do we have a new one on the cards?
No, not yet. You know what? Let me check my email.
You just TBD or TBA?
TBD. The date is set, so we're definitely.
What's the
on
date?
That day. Am I allowed to say that?
You can say the date.
March 25th.
You son of a gun.
Nope.
Hold on. March 25th. Oh, what's going on there? Hold on. 325.
You're working.
I'm commentating it, buddy.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yes.
Let's go.
BYM takeover.
Are the boys going to come? Are we bringing the boys?
I don't fucking care. They can come, they can stay, they can go, they can fly. I don't care. I'll be there. Anthony Smith, come on. I just heard a police siren outside your house.
Yeah, well, I'm not home. I'm on
whatever.
the road.
He's at his stepfather's house.
Because he's robbing banks. The reason I'm bringing it up, well, wherever you are, trouble seems to follow you. So you were at the Target the other day. Talk us through it. This is your story. It all went down in Omaha.
Oh, we're going to talk about this. Oh, it was like national news. It was like national news. Yeah. So I was like sitting in my living room, and my wife says, "There's an active shooter at Walmart or at Target. And I think I was like scrolling through my phone, and I just kind of blew it off. I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." Like it didn't like register what she said. I was like, "Wait, what? How do you know that?" And she's like, "Tiffany just said that." I was like, "How does Tiffany know?" Tiffany is our direct next door neighbor. Her and her husband are very good friends of ours. We hang out with them a lot. And she said, I said, "Well, how does Tiffany know?" She's like, "She's inside." I was like, oh no. So they're texting back and forth. She can't call. 911 because she's like hiding inside the store.
Wow.
So she had to text to have someone call 911. Well, like her husband was on the road working, and so like she didn't know if he would respond or be able to do that or whatever. So she ended up texting with him and my wife, and so then my wife said, "You got to go there." I was like, "Yeah." I don't know why. I just thought like she's definitely going to need a ride for sure,
or need her life saving.
Well, like you don't really like. You just kind of like.
You never
I guess
know.
I gotta go. Like
You never
so
know.
So I like everyone in the city, like everyone drives by there. And it actually worked out perfect. As soon as I pulled up, the Omaha Police Department, I wish we do sometimes shit on people on here, like for doing bad jobs and not doing a very good job at some things. They are so good. Like they went in, nobody was killed except for the shooter. He didn't shoot anybody. He wasn't able to. He just went into Target, started shooting rounds off. The police got there so fast.
Nice.
Took down an active shooter. As soon as she heard the police talking, she just got out of where she was hiding and walked outside and got in my truck. Like
nice.
They didn't stop. And then everyone else kind of got held in there for a while. But I think while they were still sweeping the store and making sure there was no other shooters, I think they just kind of evaluated her as like not being a threat and let her walk out. And so she's came out and got in my truck and I brought her home. She's having a tough time, man. I feel bad for her. Like initially she was like pretty good. Like she was hysterical when she first got in the car. And, it just, got a reminder, like you're not inside anymore. You're safe, like taking you home, like you're good. But, then throughout the day, she stayed at our house, until her husband he was able to fly home. And she seemed okay, like just trying to process it. But I think the last couple of days she's just, and I mean, I think maybe just the realization that like that dude was shot, like all the like pictures that keep coming out are all around her. Like he was circling where she was.
Wow.
Like hiding.
It's crazy.
So yeah,
it's crazy.
He had 13 fully loaded magazines for an AR-15. It's like 380 rounds, or I'm not good at math. It was like 300 something rounds. It was like 60 pounds of ammunition and magazines. So like he was there to like do some serious shit. And
wow.
But all the pictures were of him surrounding, like in different angles and different sides of where she was hiding at. So I just think the realization of just how close you were, like she had to walk over him, like when she came out.
Wow. No way.
Like, yeah, she's having a tough time.
Wow. Well,
I tried to give her some perspective yesterday. And I think you would probably agree with this. Like, I think life in general is about how you look at things. And of course it's a traumatic situation. I've never been in it, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I do know a little bit about trauma. And I tried to explain that like you can either look at it, look how close I was to being killed, or look at how bad this is, or you can step outside and take a real deep breath of some brisk air and I guess just be fortunate and grateful that nothing bad happened to you or anybody else. And just, you're not going to be able to think like that all the time. But I feel like I think anyone can probably think about that. Like if something really bad's happening to you and you're really just kind of really keying in on that one negative thing in your life, you can just go outside and like be grateful for the fact that you can take a big deep breath of some fresh air and that you're just still here. I think that's always a positive. At least that's what I try to do. Sometimes I make things so serious.
I'm very well said. I'm very well said. And this might upset a few people, but it's a joke. But we're going to go from one American pastime of shooting up stores to another American tradition of Groundhog Day.
Oh, wow. That's a hell of a segue.
From one American tradition to another one. It's a joke, people. It's a joke. I was on the news this morning. It was on the news. I was watching it. I was laying in bed. I was thinking, what is this nonsense? Bloody Groundhog Day. And Harrington just seemed to have it in the notes. Listen, I know
that makes a lot of sense.
It's tradition. It's tradition. And we've got some dumb stuff in England. Oh my God. But Harrington, what is this in the notes? What are they saying? What are they saying? And can we have a video for anyone that doesn't know what Groundhog Day is?
So it depends on who you're asking, because Punxsutawney Phil is the traditional, like that's the one America goes with. That groundhog came out of its burrow. It saw its shadow, which means it's a sunny day, which is it's a bad thing for some reason. And that means we have 6 more weeks of winter. However, in Georgia, General Beauregard Lee, their gopher, came out of the plantation house and did not see its shadow. So the South is looking forward to a very mild couple more weeks of winter.
I'm not sure which groundhog this is. It may or may not be the one he's talking about, but
that's Punxsutawney Phil.
It's Gobbler's Knob.
I don't like him.
Phil, the seer of seers,
I don't like Phil.
was awakened from his wintry nap at dawn on Gobbler's Knob. Guys, and then, speaking in groundhogese, directed this President Uncle to the proper scroll, which reads, I see the morning has brought the finest people. I see their bravery and spirit.
Does this last much longer?
The time has come. I can
It's a whole
feel
scroll.
it. The excitement, I can hear it. I see
All right,
the folks
all right.
with
This
gray
could go
in
on
their
for a
hair.
while. It could go on for a while.
What was
I was watching
General
What's that?
What was the other one? The other one's name? Harrington?
Punxsutawney.
General Beauregard Lee,
Where does General Beauregard Lee live?
Georgia.
They don't know shit about it. They're all drunk
Yeah,
down there.
yeah.
They're all
Listen,
drunk down there. They didn't see any
If I'm
shadows.
ever gonna listen to a rodent to give me advice on the weather and
He's
how I
gonna
should
be
pack,
Southern. He's gonna be Southern.
He's
He
gonna
has to
be
be.
what's he called? What's he called?
Beauregard Lee.
Well,
General.
Beauregard Lee.
Beauregard Lee.
He's a general. The guy's been in the military for crying out loud. He can predict the
He's an
weather.
American hero.
He's an American hero. And look at them all. They're all dressed up. Like, do they think are they just having a laugh and they think it's a bit of fun, or is there any little part of them that's taking this seriously? And forgive me, the American audience. I'm having a laugh with it. Come on, let's be honest. It's a fucking rodent.
It's a big rodent.
Tradition makes people do weird shit without questioning it. So this might just be very sincere.
Yeah,
I think it's real.
you think so? You think they?
What's like a weird thing that, like some weird tradition that maybe be similar in the UK?
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. I can't sit here and cast judgment. We've got lots of dumb shit. I can't think of anything like that off the top of my head. But I just keep thinking of Morris dancing. Look at Morris dancing.
What's that?
This is the dumbest stuff. They like have this pole and a bunch of grown men. They kind of skip round in a circle with like hankies or something.
Is that a UK thing?
Yes, sadly. Anthony,
Is there a video of you with a hanky?
There is not a video of me. I've got tights on my head now and again, but you'll never see me with a hanky.
The screenshot that people took of you with the tights on your head.
I know. Oh, here you go. This is Morris dancing. Yeah.
What is this?
Anthony,
And the groundhog is stupid.
yeah, well, exactly. That's why I can't say anything. I'm sure there's way worse, dumb, stupid English traditions, but still, there we go. Anthony, we're going to get you Morris dancing. That is for damn sure.
I'm in. Maybe it'll get me skinny.
When
I bet it looks hard.
when that time finally comes. All right, MMA news. Let's get into some MMA news. Harrington, what do we think? What is the biggest story? Because Anthony doesn't look at the notes. To be fair, he's training.
Well, did we talk about? I guess I was a little late, so I don't know if you talked about any MMA news. But as soon as we recorded on Monday, there was no Arnold Allen, Max Holloway fight that was announced yet.
Well, to be fair to Harrington, it's number one. It's number one. It's number one, and we have not spoke about it. He was offered the co-main event slot on UFC 286, but couldn't get doctor clearance. Now he's going to fight against Arnold Allen. No, it's Arnold Allen, Max Holloway. 5-round main event, April 15th. So happy for Arnold Allen. Right, here's a man that deserves it. I think he's on a 9 or a 10 fight win streak.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely phenomenal. Kept his mouth shut. Hasn't talked crap. Hasn't complained about being overlooked. 10 fight win streak. Who was his last win against?
Calvin Kattar.
No, was it Kelvin Kattar or Dan Hooker? Oh, that was the last two. Yeah. He's looking absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Max Holloway, though, tough fight.
It's a big test. I think it's the perfect fight for Arnold Allen to figure out if he is who we think he is. I think that as analysts, I think we got a pretty good grasp on what he's capable of and where he could potentially go. I think he's absolutely good enough to be the champion, but we're absolutely going to find out. Max Holloway is a tough out for anybody that isn't named Alexander Volkanovski.
I mean, it's almost unfair, isn't it? It's almost unfair because it's like, right, so you've got a 10-fight win.
It's like we got 2 champions.
No, that's what I'm
that's
saying.
How it feels.
And it's like, okay, so you're on a 10-fight win streak. But if you get through Max Holloway, you get to fight for the belt, who, by the way, was a dominant champion forever and had 2 very close fights with Volkanovski. The third one, of course, was a runaway for Volk. But, I mean, he's going in the Hall of Fame. He's an absolute legend of the sport. He's still a young man. He's still in his prime, and he's still got it. And he's gonna be so hungry to prove to the world that he's not done yet. And that fight is what it was.
And sometimes there's just that one guy that's got your number. And I don't think that I think some of the questions that were being asked after the last Volkanovski fight was, does Max still have it? Is he regressing? Is he falling off? I don't think he is at all. I think Volkanovski's just that damn good, and I think he's getting better faster. He's adjusting better to that matchup. I think with Max being so long and rangy and tall for the weight class, Volkanovski's the polar opposite. He's short and compact like a little bowling ball. I think he's just a tough matchup for Holloway. And Max is not that old. What's he, 30? I would guess he's 31. He's super young. So
he was 6 months old when he had his first fight in the UFC.
That's how it feels. I don't think so, but I do think that if Arnold Allen can get over on Max Holloway, that's a title shot.
Let me just
there's nothing else.
Yeah, no. Without question. Without question. By the way, we apologize for Anthony Smith's audio. You won't be aware. Obviously, you're on the road, you're traveling. It's fine. Every now and again, it's just cutting out a little bit, but it can't be helped. No, you're fine. You're fine. It's okay. It's okay. But I just thought I'd mention it so that the everyone's not bitching in the comment section. But you're absolutely right. I mean, if he beats him, it has to be a title fight all day long. But it's a tough one. I mean, look at Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez. I don't know if you saw that fight. I called it. And Yair started so good. And I thought, oh my God, because of what happened in the Volkanovski fight with Holloway, I thought, wow, he's kind of got old overnight. Maybe his best days are behind him. Yair was kicking him with some head kicks that were just echoing around the apex. It was ridiculous. But then Holloway, the old son of a gun, you know what I mean? He is one of the toughest men. I mean, the chin that he has is ridiculous. And he turns it around and ends up winning the fight. I mean, you can never count Max out, man. He's incredible. He really is.
No, speaking of his chin, the shots, he took a couple shots in the Holloway fight or the last Volkanovski fight that were just unreal to watch cage side. I just couldn't believe that he was still standing.
Yeah.
It was insane to watch.
He's tough as hell. Moving on here, and I don't know about this. Harrington's put it in the notes, and it's number 2. Apparently, and I don't know if I'm gonna have to, if this is true, I'm gonna have to play along in commentary, but I don't know if I can because the fighter will always go back to the corner, right? Always go back to the corner. You're in your corner. Apparently now, according to Harrington, there's no more corners in the UFC. It is going to be the prime hydration recovery zone.
I knew you were going to go there. I knew it. The prime. I'm not calling it that. I'm calling it the fucking red corner.
It's the corner.
That's what I'm doing.
It's the corner.
Like, you can't even say that. Oh, he's going to head back to the prime hydration zone.
He's like, excuse me. He's like, yeah. He's getting his ass kicked, but it's okay because when his corner speaks to him in the prime hydration recovery zone, it's not exactly rolling off the tongue, is it?
It doesn't roll off the tongue at all. It doesn't.
Harrington, where did you get this? Harrington, where did you get this verbiage from? Where did you see this?
It was just in press releases all over. I'll look for the official UFC statement on it, but that was what I read when they inked the deal. Because you saw like Logan Paul put out that video where he's like, "Oh, I'm signing a deal with the UFC. I want Patty Pimblett, the whole 9." And it turned out to just be that they were sponsoring the UFC with their new sports drink.
And fair play to Logan and KSI because this prime stuff is just taking off. I had a sip of it for the first time ever. It was all right. Nothing special. Tastes like
it was like a Gatorade.
Yeah, same type of stuff. But I went to pick up Lucas and his buddy. Rebecca was serving up the dinner, and he was he was quite far away. So and he was going to walk home. I said, "I'll go and grab him. It's dark and it's getting cold." So I drive down, and he's got a big, massive. Oh, you can't see my hands. It's a big, massive, like 24 pack of Prime energy drinks. I'm like, what are you doing with that? He said, oh, Dad, everyone's going crazy for them at school. So you buy them in a 24 pack, I can sell them at a profit at school, because he used to sell the candy. I love that. He was the candy cartel, but now he's just, the cartel's kind of big war. Now he's just the candy man. But now he's just he's not the candy cartel, he's the candy man. And now he's branching out into the Prime.
What an entrepreneur.
Wait until he learns about drugs.
Well, no, because he watches Breaking Bad, and he's like, okay, he knows all about selling meth.
Well, at least he's selling candy and drinks.
Well, that's what I said. But you know what?
If he sold them to adults, though, you could probably, if you could get him like I don't know, 30 or 40 shooters of vodka, though, to sell with the drinks, he'd probably make a killing from the adults.
If he was selling meth, hopefully,
if for the
hopefully
FBI
never got. I'm just gonna throw it out there. No offense to you drug dealers. Hopefully my son never ends up selling meth. Right? Okay, go after me in the comment section. He's against people selling meth. But if he was,
Bisping's a piece of shit.
Yeah, God, it's so judgmental from his ivory tower. If he was selling meth and he was in Canada, I don't think he'd be in very much trouble. Have you seen the news there?
No. What's going on there?
Cocaine. What else? Cocaine, meth, fentanyl, heroin, legalized or decriminalized now. Harrington, the floor is yours. Take over. I have nothing. I have no statement in front of me. But read the script.
Yeah, it's similar to the laws that Oregon passed just a few years ago, where they're decriminalizing all of the substances. Up to 2.5 grams found on a person now will be considered just for personal use, and it's become completely decriminalized. So you can't be arrested or charged for it.
Cocaine, heroin, and meth. Yeah.
Nice.
I know, it's like, let's go. Let's go.
That seems like such a bad idea.
I don't know if it is. Certainly, if you've got a cocaine habit, it's not. But apparently, the studies show, because they did this in Portugal. In Portugal, they decriminalized it all in the year 2000, and it had a massive improvement on society. The crime rate fell. Overdoses dramatically reduced, because you're not buying cut, tainted crap off the streets, so apparently it helps out. No, I don't know if it does or if it doesn't, but I just saw that and I just thought, what world are we living in? Meth?
Yeah, that seems dirty.
I saw that there was fentanyl as well. I'm like, really?
It just seems like that's a really bad idea, but I mean, what do I don't know shit about shit.
I don't know anything about
it. Just seems like a bad idea.
Next time we're going to party.
I suppose I don't know anybody that would be like, oh, well, cocaine and meth are decriminalized now. I better start doing it.
I'm not sure that's the message, but I just saw that and I just thought, well, that's a little bit interesting. But still, there we go. What should we talk about? I mean, we've got fights this weekend. Derek Lewis, Sergey Spivak.
Right.
Obviously, there's some finals. I'm assuming you didn't see Road to the UFC.
No.
Yeah, no, it was like a mini tournament, if you will, that they were having out from the European countries to what am I talking about? Asian countries, the Asian countries, to find new talent out there. So they got the finals of that this weekend. Some really, really good talent, actually. I've been watching some of the fights. So if you like some good technical striking and whatnot, tune in. But main event.
You want to talk about some technical, fantastic striking. Did you watch the latest episode of the Slap Fighting League last night?
Oh, I did not. Now we're going into the weeds of the pure controversy. But go on, what happened last night? I didn't see it. I'm commentating the final. I'm supposed to be watching it, but I keep forgetting on a Wednesday night it's on. I'm going to ask the producers to send me a link. So
check your email. They're sending out email reminders.
Don't worry, Mike. I will edit this part.
Well, I didn't know. You're all right. You don't have to edit it out. I'm getting lots of text.
Are we not supposed to talk about it?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Well, he was just admitted to not watching it.
No. I'm going to watch it. I'm going because I have to do so for research purposes. But I've just been very busy. But what happened on last night's Slappity Bappity?
the same thing happened that happens every time, and I love every second of it. They slapped the shit out of each other, and people went to sleep.
Yeah.
I got completely roasted yesterday. Like on my Sirius XM show.
Oh,
the
I saw
producer
it.
said, "Are you
basically said
willing
you
to
love
admit?" I love it. It's the same shit. Remember when you and I had this debate for a long time. I just hijacked the conversation too. Sorry.
No, please.
How I loved or I hated I wasn't super about the celebrity boxing and the YouTubers boxing with chicken farmers and all just the weird shit.
Yeah.
And you had this really good point that like you just accepted it for what it was. Like you weren't watching it like you were watching boxing. Like just a kind of a circus show. It's entertainment. You watch it for what it is and then leave it. I remember you saying that. And that's kind of how I look at slap fighting. Like people are so mad. They're like, these guys are idiots. Like, I don't necessarily disagree. Like it's not a martial art. I don't think in my
it's not
estimation. I don't even know what you would call it. It's just pure entertainment for me. But people hate that I like it. It's so weird. It's a very weird thing for me.
So this is the craziest thing because you're right. So having maybe Brian in a minute play it because I've got a funny story as well that goes with it. But on my Instagram, I shared me because what I did, I commentated them. So I went down into the locker rooms.
Right.
You know, I gave them a little slap. I'm like, you want to get slapped in the face properly? I said, I'll give you a little warm-up slap if you want. You know, I'm going to get those cheeks ready for the big ones. So I shared a little video on my Instagram and oh my God, the comments. Oh, this is a big L for you, Bisping, and all the rest of it. And I see the criticism. I see that. I'll go on. Well, no. Hold on, Brian. We'll come to that in a minute. We'll come to it in a minute because I'll tell the story because it's come out. But the criticism is ridiculous, right? This is insane and all the rest of it. You know, I get that there's no defense, but no one's putting a gun to these people's heads. There is slap leagues, promotions, whatever you want to call them, all over YouTube, all over America, all over the world. Do you know what I mean? All over the world. It's not a new phenomenon. Do you know what I mean? They're just wrapping it up. They're doing it in a reality TV format, which is going to make it way more interesting. There's athletic commissions sanctioning it. So there's going to be safety and medical screening involved before and after. Do you know what I'm saying? But everyone's just talking so much shit. It's not a new thing. They didn't invent the concept. Do you know what I'm saying? And like,
no, I was a fan of this shit way before the UFC got involved. I've been talking about this stuff forever. Like you can go back and see pictures of me on flyers to slap, like as a special guest to slap fighting leagues all over the Midwest. Like this is not new for me. Like it's new. This is not new. This is
boy.
Me and my friends have been watching this shit for a long time. It's even more exciting for me now that the UFC's involved and I don't have to hide it. I've been hiding the fact that I'm a slap fighting junkie for like 2 years. But now that the UFC, I was always afraid that my peers and maybe the UFC would be like, why does this guy keep promoting this bullshit? Like, but I've been loving it. So now that they love it, and I just hate look, 2 more UFC employees that are getting paid to say this. Nah, bro, I've been a fan of this shit for a while.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, look, listen. The people involved, you know, as I say, you know, there's look at mixed martial arts, right? There's we're all a bit nuts. It takes a certain special of someone. You have to be cut from a certain kind of cloth, in my opinion, to step into an octagon, almost naked with 4-ounce gloves on, and you can beat the crap out of your opponent. Okay, and it's kind of a similar kind of cloth that you have to be cut from to do the same thing in the slap fighting. And when I've spoke to these people, a lot of them have tried the hand at mixed martial arts. You know, unfortunately, you know, they couldn't turn it into a successful career. Do you know what I mean? But they've got the balls to do this. I mean, and it does take balls. Let me tell you, because a lot of them do flinch. I wouldn't do it. No way.
No way. What would it take? What would it take for you to do one?
Well, there's just no way. Well, I mean, if you slap me on this side, potentially, but if you slap me on this side as hard as you can, I'm definitely going to lose the vision in my gut eye.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that makes...
Yeah, because it's already like, you know, it's hanging on by a bloody, by a thread. Do you know what I mean? It's like my vision is hanging on by the end of a cliff with like but someone's stepping on those fingers and they're like, eventually they're going to go, you know what I mean? So no, I wouldn't do it. No amount of money. What about you, Anthony?
Oh, there's definitely a number. I mean, there's a number for sure. It's a pretty goddamn big one, but there's a number you could get to for sure. But I have no desire at all.
I'm not surprised.
I love to fight. I would fight for free. Don't tell the UFC I said that.
Yeah,
but there's no way.
I commentate for free. Do not tell them that either.
That's what I mean. Like, so I have a pure desire to fight and compete. I love doing this. I love working the desk. I love being an analyst. There's no desire for me to take a shot like that. I mean, the way that these people react, like I've never seen people's fingers do shit like that. It's insane.
Yeah, no, it is wild. Anyway.
All right. Sorry for hijacking the conversation.
No, not at all. It is our podcast. Okay, yeah. I'll tell this story real quick. Watch this. Sound, Brian, sound.
Could do me the favor.
The honor.
The honor.
It would be my honor. I'm gonna get fucking.
One more time.
You okay? You haven't gonna ask me. 1, 2, 3. You're a fucking psycho.
Right. You're a fucking psycho.
I tapped him. The first one was literally like that, and he's like, "Give me some more, give me some more." So this time it was like that. You know, it was not nothing. You know what I mean?
Crazy hard. Yeah.
No, I was messing around for the cameras, but when I actually did it, I didn't hit him hard. Anyway, I would never tell the story, but I've been asked about it by 2 journalists. So obviously, it's come from the UFC or whoever's in control. On that day, the guy that I slapped there, he was involved in the last bout of the day. So me and Dan Helly are commentating it, and it comes to the final one, and he doesn't walk out. It doesn't happen. And I start overthinking, thinking, shit, it's not because I slapped him, is it? It's not because I slapped him. Oh my God, what is he playing at? The producer comes in and says, apparently, Michael, that fight, that bout is not going ahead because you slapped him. Apparently, after you slapped him, he started getting a headache. All his vision were blurry. He couldn't see properly.
No way.
And I'm like, oh my God. Oh, I don't believe this. Like, you know, Dana and Lorenzo Fertitta are sitting there waiting for the next bout to come out. And they're like, why isn't it going on? Because Bisping went into the locker room earlier and decided to slap him.
Oh, no.
So it's not going ahead. And I'm like, whoa. That's bullshit. I hardly touched the guy. And I did hardly touch him. And apparently the doctor checked him out. And the doctor was like, no, this guy's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. I think, and it's just my theory, is that he saw like people get knocked out. You know, if you like seeing knockouts, there's some vicious ones. I think he saw that and was like, I don't really fancy this, if I'm honest. I think he chickened out and he saw an alternative scapegoat.
Right.
Me.
And he begged for it. And he was begging for it.
Begged me.
Bend the knee.
Begged me to slap him in the face. If somebody begged you to slap them in the face, Anthony, what would happen?
I'm going to slap him. 100%.
You're going to slap him.
I would have hit him a lot harder than you hit him.
Certainly, because they are in a slap league. You know what I mean? We're warming up. So you can't hold me accountable. All right, breaking news. Manscaped is now selling beard products. That's right. They have gone from the waist to the face to help you replace that bulky razor with their brand new Beard Hedger Pro kit. They have created the best tools for you to turn heads with a clean, perfectly groomed and conditioned beard. Finally, tame your mane by going to manscaped.com. Use the code BISPING20 and you will get 20% off plus free shipping. Listen, we know Manscaped. They have, they had the Manscaped, right? The world's leader in below the waist grooming. But all their products are the highest quality. They really are. So the beard trimmer is no different. It all starts with a Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, it's waterproof. It's got a cordless trimmer with a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with no guard. So no more messy drawers full of old, I used to have one. You open up your top drawer in your bathroom and there's just attachments everywhere. No more need for that crap. Plus, the trimmer has a titanium-coated T-blade that is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction of your beard cutting at one stroke at a time. The Pro Kit is much more than a trimmer, though. It comes with 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. It's got the beard shampoo and conditioner. All your hair is different. Did you know that? And your beard hair is much more coarse and easier to damage. That's why the kit has shampoo and conditioner designed particularly to moisturize, reduce ingrowing hairs, and replenish your natural oils, promoting beard health. So, guys, go to manscaped.com. By the way, after that, you can top it off with the beard balm. Manscaped, they're taking over men's grooming. Balls, crown jewels, face, beards, hair, conditioner and shampoo in one, whatever you name it. Manscaped is where you want to go. Go to manscaped.com. Bisping20 is the code. You will get 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use the code Bisping20. No. Anyway, Derek Lewis, for the 5th time, we're going to talk about this. I don't care.
We're going to get to it.
It's a big main event. They don't get bigger than Derek Lewis. But what is he? Has he lost 3 out of his last 4? I think he has. 3 out of his last 4. 2 tied to Avasa, Cyril Gahn. He beat Chris Dawkins. He lost to, I don't know, it's 3 out of the last 4.
The big Russian cat.
Yeah. Oh, Sergey Pavlovich. That's right. Yeah. But now he's fighting another big Russian, Sergey Spivak. Spivak's nowhere near as dangerous on the feet as Pavlovich is. But in terms of takedowns, this man's a beast with takedowns. Look at what he did to Greg Hardy. Picked him up, threw him down. He's done that to Taito Avasa. He did the same thing to him. Do you know what I mean? So for Derek Lewis, he's in a tough position. How do you see this going down, Anthony?
I hope he doesn't make me look like an idiot, man. But I think Derek Lewis has an easy win here. Not that Spivak is an easy fight. I think the styles work out for Derek. If you kind of historically go back and look at Derek's career, the way to beat Derek Lewis is to outstrike him. He's only really, other than DC was the only guy that could really take him down and control him and keep him there, and be dominant on the ground with him. Kind of look back, the guys that have beaten Derek Lewis are guys that are more technically sound, smoother strikers. So I don't think Spivak is that guy. I think the guys that are panic shooting for takedowns, that really have their mindset or have their game plan is to be dead set on getting a takedown and controlling Derek Lewis. I think all of those guys have struggled except for DC. You look at your Curtis Blades, you look at
the Curtis Blades.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Lewis does such a good job. I mean, how many times have we seen him full side control, flat on his back, no skill set at all, and just stand up? I mean, he's a different breed, and to be fair to Derek Lewis, DC is a different kind of animal on the ground. So but he's the only one that's really been able to control him for any amount of time on the ground.
DC,
like when Derek Lewis wants to get up, he gets the fuck up, and that's it's like he needs to fight those guys that are wrestlers, because he knows that if they're not going to strike with him, he's got it figured out on either how to land the shot on their way in, like it makes them predictable. It's when they're dangerous on their feet that he has lots of problems.
I totally agree. And Lewis is as dangerous as they come. He's got the most knockouts in the UFC, as we know. He's got ridiculous punching power. He's got great timing. As you said, that uppercut with Curtis Blades, unbelievable. Harrington, I was trying to type this out. While you started talking, I started typing, and it was typing a little message in the chat, but I hadn't clicked on the chat box, so I just typed nothing. Waste of time. Harrington, just look this up. It's funny you're talking about DC, because I spoke to Sergey yesterday, and I spoke to Lewis as well. Lewis, he's not too happy with Daniel Cormier right now. I don't know what the quote was. Just look that up, please, or if you've got it.
Yeah, I saw it earlier, and I didn't put it in the notes because I wasn't sure if we were going to get to it. But DC said that while he thinks that Derek Lewis does win this weekend, his days of being a top heavyweight are behind him.
Yeah, and that obviously hit a nerve with Lewis, you know, and I don't blame him. And listen, hey, DC's entitled to his opinion. That's him being an analyst and a commentator, and certainly someone that's been in there with Lewis. So he knows, you know, he also knows that everyone's run comes to an end, and maybe he's recognized that maybe the sport's caught up with him, or, we're not going to see any more big knockouts. But also on the flip side, Lewis is allowed to respond. And I spoke to him yesterday and I said, because I've suffered that and you've suffered it as well. People write you off. People talk shit. I remember, and I'm sure you've got similar stories, people saying I wasn't good enough, he'll never be champ and all the rest of it. That just motivates you. And as this was my question, what I asked Derek, I said, when you hear stuff like that, does it motivate you? Because for me, whilst it angered me and it pissed me off, it also fueled me to work my ass off. Because not only did I want to win for my sake, for the financial rewards and all the rest of it, I also wanted to rub it in their fucking faces and go, look at that. Doubt me, will you? And Lewis was like, oh yeah, this has helped me in the training camp, the disrespect that he has received.
Yeah. I mean, that's always kind of been the thing with Derek Lewis, though, right? Is he motivated? Which Derek is going to show up? I mean, let DC keep talking. If we're going to get the motivated, in shape, angry Derek Lewis, DC can let him say whatever the fuck he wants, because I'm here for that guy. That's for sure.
What would you rather have? An angry Derek Lewis, like out of his mind. I'm talking rage level 10, red mist anger. Derek Lewis or DC?
Derek Lewis. What would I rather deal with, or who do I think?
Yeah. Which one would you? Which one? Yeah, which one's scarier? You're locked in a room. You can't get out. You got Derek Lewis at a 10 or DC at a 10.
Get me away from Derek Lewis. I'll take DC at a 10 any day.
All right, Francis Ngannou at a 10, Derek Lewis at a 10.
Still Derek Lewis.
I agree with that one. Hold on, this is a fun game. All right.
Well, Derek Lewis, I'm like very pointed here. Like DC's probably is better. Like he's obviously got the wrestling and all that that stuff. But I'm a pretty good jiu-jitsu guy. So like I feel like if DC shoots a takedown, like I could tie him up and slow him down a little bit. I will
stall DC up all day long.
I will tie him up.
On the ground.
I will tie him up. Like he's not going to get too many big shots off on me.
He didn't do shit.
Derek Lewis is a big son of a bitch. Like, and he can kind of grapple a little bit. Just smash your head like a gorilla. I'm out.
Just smash your face into.
Same with Francis. Like I could hide my head. Like I could grab onto Francis's leg and like tuck a head, and I don't know. I'll hide it somewhere. I feel like I'd do better against Francis.
In his crotch.
I would. He ain't gonna punch himself in the dick.
Oh my God. What do you think? I can't make a prediction. So you've got Lewis this weekend?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does well against guys that have to grapple, and I think Spivak has to grapple.
Yeah. He's getting better though on the feet. He's getting better on the feet for sure. He is.
He's confident too. He's even their last fight, when it ended up being canceled the morning of, he's got a different confidence about him. Sergey does. He's kind of turning a corner, I think, mentally. That makes a difference at this level.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's take a look at some of this stuff. Harrington, give us throw. Should we do a non-MMA? Let's do one of Harrington's non-MMA stories. Okay. Harrington, which one would you put in? You put these in, Harrington. Which is your proudest one?
Okay, well,
in fact, I don't want to know. Just set us up.
Okay, probably this one. Okay, seeing as you guys have children of about this age, let's see here. A massive brawl broke out at a high school basketball game, and it ended up. Middle school basketball game, and it ended up costing a 60-year-old man his life.
Let's take a look at the video.
We have a video, but are we sure we want to show a murder on screen? Here it comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you can't really see where it happens in here. You don't even know which one they're talking about.
Where was this?
These are like parents fighting, right?
Where was this, Hamilton?
Parents fighting. I will look up the location right now. But the story I read was just a middle school basketball game led to a 60-year-old.
It's not that serious.
No, it isn't that serious. You're right.
This is basketball.
In Vermont, of all places.
Vermont. They're getting down like that in Vermont.
Oh, wow. What would happen if it kicked off in Nebraska? Don't worry. I was going to say Arkansas, but no one gets the joke anymore. Go on.
Well, it just depends. I mean, if my kid's involved, then I'm going to leave there at least 13 or 14-0 for sure.
Yeah. How many
There's not too many kids' parents.
non-trained civilians on a basketball court? You've gone schizo. Someone's backhanded one of your daughters. She's hit the floor. She's banged her head when she goes down. She's unconscious. There's a pool of blood coming from the back of her head.
Jesus.
Okay. And it's your favorite daughter, right? Right. And then someone says, chill, bro. It's not that big of a deal. Anthony Smith goes to a 10. How many untrained civilians could you take down in 60 seconds?
All of them. I don't know.
Of course.
Yeah, all of them. Probably. Yeah, all of them.
Nah, dumb question. So I asked Harrington, but this is what we have. That's the non-MMA story.
That was the one he was most proud of.
That's the one.
Did you see the kid that was playing hide and seek? Did we do this one?
Oh, no, it's actually here. Is it there?
Is it
real? Okay. Oh, did we talk about it?
No, we didn't. Mike was like, it's crap. Throw it out.
No,
I thought it was great.
I never said that, Harrington, but I'm very intrigued. No, tell me, because I remember seeing something about it in the notes. I didn't look at it. Go on.
Harrington may have to fact check me here, but I don't remember exactly where the kid started, but I think he was like 12 years old, I think, or 15. I don't know how old he was, but he was young, and he was playing hide and seek with his friends, and they were in like some shipping port area, and he hides in a shipping container. It wasn't like, I don't know where he was, but then they shut the container, loaded it on a ship, and then shipped the kid like to another country, and they found him 5 days later in the container.
God. Look at him, blast.
Yeah, he was in Malaysia, and he got shipped to Bangladesh. 6
days in a shipping container, no food, no water, no sunlight, and he survived.
Man.
I was going to say,
I'm glad he survived. It's not funny.
Alive.
It's not funny if he dies.
No,
but that he's alive and he was playing hide and seek and ended up in another country. That's wild.
He took that ball and ran with it. He's like, okay. Go on, Harrington.
Hide and seek grand champion. World record, Guinness World Record, best hide and seeker ever.
He wins. He wins everything.
He won
it. Were you a big hide and seeker, Mike?
I mean, we used to play, what do we call? Hares and Hounds.
What's that?
You know what that is? Well, one team with the hares, one team with the hounds, and they run off into like the castle. The castle, we had the Clitheroe Castle, which is the castle grounds are huge right by my house. And so that was like our playground, if you will. And yeah, one set of the hares run, and we give them like a minute or 2 minutes or whatever the fuck it was. It's been a long time, and we've got to go find them. We're going to go catch them. It was great. I loved it. Hares and Hounds. What a great game. But then afternoon, and when you got all the hares, then you switched it. But most of the time, here's what happened. Most of the time, they can't be arsed then. So, I'm going to go home. Because you want to be the one getting chased. The one getting chased is way better. Do you know what I mean?
It's way more fun.
Way more fun to be chased and hide it. Oh, they're coming. Because when you're the one looking, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Where are they? This is ridiculous. Even playing hide and seek. I do it with Lucas. Well, we used to when he was younger, but you know where he is.
Yeah.
So, you're walking
Where's
by.
Lucas?
Oh my God. You can see like the feet underneath like the bottom of the door, What about you? Hide and seek guy?
Well, with my kids for sure. We were in the Black Hills in South Dakota like last winter, riding razors and just hanging out with probably I think 5 families. We all stayed in this huge house, and 2 of the younger ones, they were like 3 or 4 years old. Mine and then one other younger kid decided they were going to play hide and seek from the parents, but not tell the parents that that's what they were doing, and we lost them both for almost an hour.
Kids,
like. The kids, yeah, we couldn't find them. I mean, it was a big enough house where we all pitched in. 5 families. There's 30 people in this house. You know what I mean? So, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I bet you were shitting your pants.
I was fucking terrified.
Have you ever lost a kid? I mean, obviously you lost 2 for.
Yeah. Then that was the only real time. One time, one of my kids wandered off in a grocery store for like 30 seconds, and I almost died.
Yeah.
Like I was so afraid. Like at least in the house, I was pretty sure they were in the house the whole time. We started panicking like after a while because we couldn't find them. But this house was like outside of town on like the side of the mountain where we were skiing and stuff. So there was no strangers. There was no way they got outside. Like we were fairly 99% sure they were in the house. We just couldn't find them. So that was different. But like inside of a grocery store in this world for like 30 seconds or a minute,
it's terrifying. It is absolutely. I remember we were at the Trafford Centre. It's a big mall in Manchester, big old shopping centre, as we call it. Huge. And we're walking along, and Callum and Ellie, Lucas wasn't even around. They must have been, Ellie was like 4. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I still don't know whose fault it was. But we're walking along, and the like a storefront is open, and there was something that caught our eye, and we just stopped to look at it for a second. And I was like, "Oh, do you like that, babe?" Or whatever, blah 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 blah. And it was like a 20-second conversation, and then we stop and we look round, and Ellie's not there. And
God!
The sheer panic. Unless you're a parent, you'll never understand it. Do you know what I mean? And we're looking round, and she just wasn't there. I start sprinting up and down. The mall's on multiple levels. Panicking like crazy. I'm like, shit. I'm like, Bet, keep looking, but don't go far from here. Just look around the immediate vicinity. I'm going to run down to the security. I run down to the security desk because I know where it is. I'm like, hey, my daughter is missing. I said, you got to make sure nobody leaves the mall. Or at least look at the cameras and double check that no one is walking out with a little girl with whatever colored dress she had on. And like the bloody teenager or whatever working behind the desk is like, what? What are you saying?
I just want to punch that guy.
I'm like, I wanted to smash his face. And I'm like, dude, my daughter's missing. And anyway, and then I said, whatever, alert security or whatever. Then I thought I better run back to where Rebecca was, and we're there. And I'm hoping, please, she's there. And she's like, no, she hasn't turned up yet. About 10. I'd say about 10 minutes has passed out, and we're shitting it. We're feeling like awful parents. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually some nice old lady comes walking along, has got my daughter by the hand. My daughter's crying her eyes out. Oh, God.
She just kept, like, you stopped and she kept walking?
We stopped for a second and she carried on walking. And then obviously when she realized she was lost, she's carried on walking that direction because she's 4 years old. You know what I mean?
God, I can't imagine. Like in a public place like that with other people and strangers and
There's a beach in Cornwall, England, Fistral Beach, and they have the World Surf Championships on there every year. I don't know if it's the World Championships because surfing in England, you know what I mean? it's like when you're the world champion of a regional MMA promotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm the world champion. Yeah. Are you? Are you really?
And
my little sister, and on this beach, this huge beach, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. She disappeared for hours on end. But anyway, no one cares.
Way.
No one's interested in that. Yeah, thank you.
I care.
What should we talk about? Volkanovski is consuming 4,000 calories a day and he's weighing around 170 pounds ahead of next week. How does that make you feel?
Jealous?
Yep.
He's only 15 pounds over. It's not too bad.
His recovery will be through the roof.
It will be, because he's fully fed. Like he's been training at the highest level on 4,000 calories. He's not even burning 4,000 calories, probably, is he?
I doubt it.
Not now. No, not now, at least. Not this close.
Most men need around, I think it's around about 2,000. He's training, of course. Maybe he is. Maybe just staying level. When you're in a training camp, Anthony, and you're trying to get lean and you're trying to make weight and no jokes about what happened last time. What does a typical day of eating look like for you?
I've had to change it a little bit. Honestly, Mike, I don't really change my diet that much. Like, obviously, the people that are watching this are going to say, "Well, you fat fuck,
well,
you just
maybe you need
missed
to
weight.
start.
Maybe that's why. Maybe you need to start." There, again, I'm not making any excuses, so I can't even say what happened. But like, my weight does balloon a little bit in between fights, but as I go through training camp, it always levels out. So like, once I'm in shape and I'm like not a fat fuck, and not been like coming off an injury, I walk at like 220.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly light.
So
I'm one of the smaller light heavyweights.
To answer the question, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what does that look like? I didn't ask you.
I'm not a big breakfast
spectrum
guy.
on big and small heavyweights. Light
Well, I'm
heavyweights,
not. Well, I just eat when I'm hungry, so I don't have like a strict diet that I stick to. So like, I don't eat breakfast typically. It's usually like a shake or a smoothie or something like that. I'm not a big breakfast guy. I usually do my first training session fasted. So
yep.
I train and then I eat lunch. It's like usually on the way to my next practice. Like,
what is your lunch? What is your lunch? This is what I'm getting at. What is the lunch?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's probably something super lean because I have to train and go strength and conditioning right afterwards. So like a chicken sandwich and I've had to ease off the protein and up the carbs a little bit. So I'll do like sweet potato fries or something like that. And then dinner's super American as fuck, like steak and eggs and potatoes. It's fucking super simple.
Sounds like breakfast.
Yeah.
My lunch every day, and I mean every single day. I just had it before I started now. And Rebecca says to me every time, "Are you not sick of this yet?" And I'm like, "No, every day it is a taste sensation." Chicken sausages, they're good chicken sausages though.
Mm-hmm.
They're delicious. Chicken sausages, 4 rashers of bacon, 2 fried eggs, and a low carb wrap with a nice big healthy splodge of chipotle sauce. That's me.
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Every single day.
No shit.
And
my diet's all over the place.
That is keto all day. You know what I mean? It's delicious. It's basically an English fry up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's breakfast. I love a good fry.
I was just gonna say, it sounds like a iteration of like a full Irish breakfast, kind of.
Yeah. It's like a full English, we call it. You know,
it's a full Irish.
I'm pretty sure we invented it.
It's a full Connor.
It's a full Connor.
Sorry.
Anyway, we're going off the bloody rails here. What are we talking
We're going
about?
off the fucking rails.
What should we talk about? We've done the fights, we've done the slap boxing, we've annoyed everyone with that. We've got questions coming up shortly. Here's one that Harrington put in here again. Again, this is what I have to put up with. And everyone says,
here comes this bullshit.
Why do you get on Harrington's case? I say, because he puts in this. A fashion designer has made a pair of shoes that come with zip-on covers that can be used together as a tote bag.
He did not put that in the fucking notes.
Number 6. Number 6. Look at your email.
I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up right now. A fashion
designer has made a pair of shoes that come with zip-on covers that can be used together as a tote bag. I'm like, this is
Harrington, you did not put this in the fucking notes, did you?
Yes, I did.
No, the fuck you didn't. I'm looking. Hold on. No, look. Oh,
I'm like,
here we go.
Please.
Mike Harrington notes.
Would you wear these?
1, 2. A fashion designer has made a pair of shoes that come with a zip.
Look at that.
That's like taking a bag.
Did he take him off his feet and then put his food in them?
Yes. Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Yes.
How much of these?
Fuck. Listen, I've been sticking up for you lately, Harrington.
No, you haven't. Don't lie.
Yeah, I remember that.
Don't try and get the believers further on your side.
We talked about this, Mike. I said, listen, maybe we should back off of Harrington a little bit. You said, no, he's a goddamn idiot. I said, he's trying. And then you do this shit.
And then he puts that story in.
What the hell are we doing?
Let me ask you this. When you go to the supermarket, and Harrington, you can't put that in without letting me know how much do these shoes cost, because I am intrigued. It's a vital part of the story. Let me ask you this. When Mrs. Smith, in fact, who goes to the supermarket in your house? I'm assuming it's not you.
I don't know how to answer this question.
Well, just tell me who goes to the supermarket.
We don't go to the supermarket.
Oh, right. Okay. So you slaughter your own cows. We know that.
We do. We get our.
But what about your general day to day? Is it Amazon deliveries?
We do Instacart.
Yeah.
Everything gets delivered.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Don't tell Mrs. Bisping. My God, she spends half her life in bloody Ralph's.
Yeah, she hates going to the store.
My wife goes every day.
I'm never, especially with the goddamn active shooter situation the other day. Like, you're never going to get her in a fucking store now.
It's dangerous. Rebecca goes every day. I'm like, why don't in England, and I'm sure it's the same in the States, but they do what's called the weekly shop. They do the big shop. They go for the week and they fill the cart up. You know what I mean? She doesn't do that. She goes down every day. I'm like, why don't you just think ahead? Do you know what I mean? Buy the stuff we need. And instead of
easy.
Instead of the same conversation at about 12 o'clock every day, right when she sits down my chicken sausage and my bacon and eggs, right when I'm just finished eating that, she goes, what should we do for dinner today? I'm like, well, I don't fucking give a fuck right now because I've got a full stomach. And why don't you just buy a week's worth of food? But I was going to say, when you do go to the supermarket, but well, you don't go, do you? There's no point.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we have before.
Would you use those shoes? Would you take the
No.
bag off your shoe?
No. Are you a paper or plastic kind of guy?
Well, that's what I was going to ask as well. Are you?
Okay.
We're not a paper or a plastic. Rebecca has multiple, and again, this pisses me off. You know, like the bags for life.
Those reusable ones.
They're the big bags, but they're all by the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Can we store them somewhere else? Because the first thing people see when they walk in is a bunch of bags just on the floor. How about put them in a drawer, in a cupboard?
Yeah, in a closet.
You know, fucking hell.
No.
Jesus
paper
Christ.
all the way.
Paper. Sean Strickland wants to fight Paulo Costa in his final fight.
I've seen that.
I think Sean, hey, fair play to him. He's got balls.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure that'd be a good fight for him.
I think it's a great matchup for him.
You do?
I do. He does such. I mean, if there's a lot of people who thought he beat Jared Cannonier, and in the world of explosive strikers, I think Cannonier is the more explosive, faster, technically sound striker, in my opinion. I love Paulo, and he's always been pegged as this knockout artist, this guy that's just smoking people. Are those shoes $350? Is that what he just said?
They are in collaboration with Nicole McLaughlin, who's a designer on Twitter, and DM Footwear. They don't have them on their website right now, but the retail price $350.
Well, they could take.
I can't even respond to that.
No, it's just stupid.
That's insane.
Harrington, you're this close, mate. You're on thin ice. I'm just looking at Paulo Costa on Wikipedia. 14-2. Those 2 losses to Marvin Vettori and Adesanya back to back. Out of 14 wins.
Who's the last guy he finished?
Out of 14 wins, 11 knockouts.
Who's the last?
Uriah Hall, Johnny Hendricks, Olawale Bamgoji, Gareth McLennan. That's all he's done in the UFC. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
How many of those guys are still in the UFC?
None of them. Not one of them.
That's not hating on Paulo. I mean, he is explosive.
And I've never even heard of Gareth McClellan. He could be amazing, but I've never heard of him. Yoel Romero beat him. That was a great fight, wasn't it, with Yoel?
Yes,
lost to
was.
Izzy, got finished. That was a bad fight against Izzy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even think he probably looks bad in that fight, as bad as that, if he fought him again.
Who is it? No.
Paulo. I think he just had the worst performance of his life.
That was the worst performance of his life. He had stage fright. He let the moment get to him. He had the wine the night before. Have you ever had a fight where the night before maybe he wasn't as disciplined as what he should have been?
Every fight.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll have a drink.
I'll have to. I've got a drink. That's fine. Have you ever had one when you've had more than a few?
No.
Right. Yeah,
have you?
I have. Yeah. When I fought Vitor Belfort, main event.
No way. You got drunk the night before?
I didn't get drunk. I got a good tolerance.
Too many?
I had about 6 pints of lager sitting there by myself at the bar.
Really?
Because I was like, I'll just have a fucking shandy. Because I had a shandy. I'll have another one. And then another one. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'll have one more. It's all carbohydrate. Got to read,
Yeah, I need them. I need the energy.
Oh, dear. Generally, it's just one. I would have one shandy. Half beer, half Sprite. You know what I mean?
Right.
A shandy. I would always have one shandy or one glass of wine.
Yeah, I'll have a beer or two with dinner. Like, the big kind of team dinner where we kind of all go out and have a nice meal at night the night before. I'll have a couple beers. Maybe one Moscow Mule. Like nothing serious.
I'll have a couple of beers, maybe a glass of wine or two at dinner.
Yeah.
A Moscow Mule, just
no. I mean a couple beers or
the team
a Moscow
spirit,
Mule.
We'll cheers with a Moscow Mule.
Yeah,
but other than that,
and then we'll do a round of shots because you have to as a team.
I did a round of shots exactly.
Right.
Anyway,
a couple edibles to go to bed.
Yeah, well, you got to sleep, haven't you? Maybe some Xanax, a couple of Percocet because you got a couple of injuries. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And then when you wake up, you have to do a little bit of cocaine to get yourself woke up so you can get going.
And you're in, and the fight's
That's
taking
a joke,
place
everyone, by the
way.
way.
The fight's taking place in Canada, so you just walk down the street and just buy it on the street. It's fine.
And get some meth.
And it wouldn't pop up on the USADA because it's recreational.
It's fine.
Good to go. All right, everybody, let's talk about Shopify really quick. You've probably heard this ad before. If you have a business, if you're an entrepreneur, you've got something that you sell, you need to be online. And of course, Shopify is the way that makes it very, very simple, cost effective, time effective, and it's not expensive in the slightest. Once you've done it, you can customize your online store to your style. You can connect with new customers to drive growth and even maintain the relationships that will keep them coming back no matter how big your store grows. Every minute, new sellers from around the world are revolutionizing their businesses and making their first sale with Shopify. Once you start selling, Shopify makes getting paid very simple by instantly accepting every type of payment. And Shopify, well, it grows with your business, no matter how far or how big you grow, thanks to an endless list of integrations and third-party apps. Anything you can think of, from on-demand printing to accounting to chatbots, everything that you need to revolutionize your business, it is at your fingertips. Do you want marketing made simple? Well, Shopify removes the guesswork with built-in tools that help you create, execute, and analyze your online marketing campaigns. Listen, running a growing business means getting the insights that you need wherever you are. And with Shopify's single dashboard, you can manage orders, shipping, and payments from anywhere. So basically, it gives you everything that you need. Okay, all the assistance that you need. Customer service 24/7, 365. If you've got a business, if you're an entrepreneur, you've got an idea, you've got to get online, and you got to do it with Shopify. And you can do it for $1 per month during their trial period. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/believe, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/believe to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/believe. Right. Here's a proper story. Eddie Hearn, boxing promoter extraordinaire, of course. Amongst many, many other people, he promotes Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
He was on Helwani's show yesterday. You probably saw this. And they've approached Francis Ngannou. And I think for Francis Ngannou, this is a much more, it's a great opportunity because we've both said we love Francis. He's terrifying. He's great. And we wish him all the best. Tyson Fury, probably too much. Anthony Joshua, probably too much. But Anthony Joshua, I can see a path to victory more than what I can with Tyson Fury. And if he could fight and beat Anthony Joshua, well, if he could just fight Anthony Joshua, first of all, both men are going to make an insane amount of money. It'll probably take place in Saudi Arabia or any stadium in the world, and it will be sold out. And a lot of people will buy that pay-per-view. And as Eddie Hearn said, the value is in the unknown. But let's just imagine a scenario where Francis Ngannou lands that shot, because Anthony Joshua has lost a few lately, just lost 2 in a row to Alexander Usyk. He got clipped off Andy Ruiz, even though he got revenge. He's bigger. He's been around a long time now. He doesn't move, is the point I'm getting at. He doesn't move as well as Fury, and he's not as fast, in my humble opinion. So the chances of Ngannou hitting him and connecting are bigger. And if he was to beat him, then that would set up the fight with Tyson Fury as well. So he wouldn't just get one. He'd potentially get two fucking gigantic paydays.
Yeah, I'm glad that he said that the intrigue is in the unknown, because you don't really know what you're going to get. That's why, I, as much as I got shit on for what I said, I still stand by it. I think Tyson Fury is too much. A Deontay Wilder fight where you'd have a little bit of the size and weight advantage. I think the problem you kind of mentioned though with a guy like Deontay is the speed. Deontay, he's going to move a little bit and he's faster. I don't disagree with you. I think he's still behind it. I think he's got an uphill battle there, but it's his best. He's the best opportunity of getting a win off one of these top guys. That's for sure. I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, no, listen, Joshua's phenomenal, and he's had an
even
incredible...
Ruiz is a bad matchup because he's fast and super technical and moves well.
Oh, 100%. Just let me just look at Anthony Joshua here. I want to know his age, because listen, Joshua's had an incredible career, so it sounds insulting for us to stand there and say, well, I think Ngannou would have a better go against him, only because he's a little bit more static and he doesn't move quite as well. What is he? He is. Where's his age?
33.
Is that all? So he's still a young man. still a young man. Okay, so I thought he was older.
I thought he was older. Yeah,
I thought he was older. I'm trying to get down to his record here because, my God, there's a lot of stuff on his wiki page. Wow. Yeah, so he's lost 3 out of his last 5. You know, nothing to be embarrassed about, but he won 20 fights in a row and then all of a sudden loses 3 out of 5. You know, what does that say? Again, we say it all the time. Can't stay on top of combat sports forever. Is he on the decline? If he is, then that would be a good time for Francis to at least give it a try. Of course, Joshua will be a massive favorite. Of course.
But he's hittable.
Hey,
he's hittable.
He's hittable.
He said, and I don't know that that's the case for a guy like Tyson Fury.
Yeah. And to be fair, he lost twice to Alexander Usyk, who is just, he's ridiculous.
Phenomenal.
He's ridiculous. Anyway, where are you now? Are you in, where are you, Colorado?
I'm in Denver. Yeah, I'm in Denver. Yeah.
Who are you training with today?
Dustin Jacoby and Cody Brundage. Working some wrestling.
Nice.
The hard wrestling day. I hate those days. I actually like wrestling. God, they're hard though.
Bullying kickboxers in the wrestling department?
No. Dustin's getting pretty good.
Is he?
He's getting pretty good. He's getting hard to take down. Yeah. Cody's a pretty good goddamn wrestler. So
no, he's a great wrestler. Love Dustin Jacoby. When is he in there again? Does he have anything?
He's fighting Akhmat Mirzakhanov. There we go. April, sometime in April 11th.
Okay. All right. We're looking forward to that one. So
yeah,
we'll do some questions, eh? If you got any, send them in. Okay. Oh, by the way, big shout out Robert Whittaker. Thanks. I've been trying to get Robert on the show for ages. You know, he's one of those guys. He doesn't check his DMs very often.
No, he kind of just does his own thing, doesn't he? He's kind of in his own little... I respect that.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Really?
I respect that because I've shot him a few DMs and he's never responded. And I thought, all right, well, fair enough. He doesn't want to do it. He could have just said that. But then as soon as he saw it, we saw one and he gave me his number. He said, oh, mate, so sorry. He said, I don't check my DMs. You know what I mean? He said, I don't really use social media too often. He said, here's my phone number. If you want to reach out, always just text me anytime. And what a guy. And then we made it happen. Such a class act. So thank you to Robert for joining us. Thank you very much. If you've got a question for us, send it into, where did he send it in, Anthony?
Into bympod@gmail.com. Make them short, sweet, and concise. So you're going to piss off Michael and he's going to scream.
What kind of questions should they send in, Anthony?
It's just send in some funny ones. And some real life ones. They don't all have to be MMA ones. We like the real life ones where people want advice. You got some shit going on and you don't mind us talking about it. We're more than happy to do that. Sometimes I enjoy those more. The non-MMA questions.
And now who are you going to throw to?
Harrington. Say whatever the spiel you fucking say.
I'm coaching you through it because there might be a day when I'm in Australia that you got to fucking host this bad boy, Anthony.
I'm here. I'm ready for it.
If you're enjoying the show on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you find podcasts, make sure that you're subscribed. Leave a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and you leave and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new episode drops. I'm still on it. Also, if you want to catch over 400 episodes entirely ad-free and uncensored, head to gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
Very well said, Anthony. Do you know, Harrington, just side note, I get a haircut this afternoon. I can't wait.
Are you excited?
Oh,
the last couple of shows, I can tell it's been bugging you.
It's out of control, but I'm going to Australia and I'm commentating this weekend and then I'm going to Australia. I thought I might as well just wait. I'll get it done right before I go to Australia, you know. Anyway.
Makes sense.
Anyway.
If you send in a question that's too long, Bisping makes me hit Harrington, by the way. So don't do that. So our first question here is from Nathaniel.
What's going on, BYM crew? So my question is, do you think there should be some type of official criteria to warrant an immediate rematch when a champion loses his belt? For example, maybe having 3 or more title defenses, maybe holding victories over 2 or more guys in the top 5 in your division. There's no doubt that some immediate rematches are justifiable with like Israel Adesanya. But on the Israel Adesanya note, I'm hoping he loses his rematch just so we don't have to see a rubber match. I feel so many immediate rematches can cause for a stale product and can stall a division. Fuck you, Harrington. And thank you guys for your time. Good morning.
All right. Well, obviously up very early because it's dark there. Immediate rematches. I mean, I think there's kind of an unwritten rule that I don't think we see immediate rematches unless the champion has been very dominant. Would you disagree?
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, Amanda Nunes, she
I don't think we need a criteria though. I think it's a case by case basis, don't you think?
I do. It kind of seems, it's on merit as well. How good has the champion been?
Mm-hmm.
What has his attitude been like? Is he fighting frequently like Israel Adesanya? Did he defend the belt a bunch of times? Was it a good fight? Do people want to see it again? Do people want to see him as champion again? Maybe when a champion loses, it's like, thank God, he's the most boring champion on planet Earth. We're not giving him an immediate rematch.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, thank God we got rid of him.
No, I totally agree. I think that's the good thing about our sport is, and sometimes it's the bad thing that we don't always have certain set criteria, and it's not everything's not black and white, and so there's a lot of questions. But I think it's usually I can't even tell. I can't remember a time where a champion got immediate rematch, and I thought how that was bullshit.
I can't think of a time ever. I cannot think of a time ever.
Neither can I.
Harrington O'Brien, can you think of one? I mean, as I say, normally they only do a rematch if, like, for example, when Stipe Miocic lost to Daniel Cormier, Stipe had defended the belt more times than any other heavyweight. That made sense.
Mm-hmm.
When Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman rematched, of course, that made sense.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think he's asking, would you like to see like a criteria, like something on a checklist instead of just like, well, that one kind of makes,
Yeah, no. I understood the English coming out of his mouth.
All right. I'm sorry. It just seemed like you were just going over ones that made sense.
No, I don't think that we need a criteria. I think that it just, I think we just know the ones that deserve it. I think it's pretty clear normally.
No, that's what we were saying. Generally, that has always kind of been what happens. That's why I was saying, can we think of anyone where it hasn't happened? But go on, Harrington.
Yeah, I mean the Cody versus TJ Dillashaw. That was kind of a weird one. Cody didn't have any title defenses at that point. He had just won the belt off of Dom. I understand there was a rivalry and it was heated or whatever, but after seeing that first one, I'm not sure I needed a second one, and it did hold up the division for a little bit.
But hold on. So what were the circumstances there? So Cody took the belt off Dom. Dom and TJ had a fight. TJ won the first one, and then it was an immediate rematch, was it?
Yes.
No. Yeah, Cody won it off of Dominic. Then Cody and TJ fought for that title. Yeah, that's right. And he won the next two.
I think, to be honest, I think because at that time there, I mean, right now bantamweight's stacked, but back then
it wasn't then.
It wasn't so much back then. I mean, TJ Dillashaw was one of the biggest stars, certainly at bantamweight. Cruz had just lost.
And TJ had been so dominant before that, like he was smoking people, and I think that at least my feeling was it's like, oh, TJ just got clipped.
And that first fight between TJ and Cody, it was a pretty bloody entertaining fight as well. It was great. Them two delivered. So, yeah. Anyway, all right, Brian, what do we have?
All right, so we got another question here from Ethan Jennings.
What's happening, boys? Love the show. Gonna get straight into it. Next week we got the pound for pound shootout with Volkan Islam, and then the following month John Jones makes his return. My question for you is though, if John Jones wins that fight, does he automatically jump from, I think it's 12, to number one as the number one pound for pound, bearing in mind the long win streaks of the other two next week? Having said that though, obviously he never lost his light heavyweight title, and then becoming the biggest, baddest man on the planet, the heavyweight champ. Let me know what you think, boys. Also, can you give my missus some shit? That's why I'm filming this video out on the middle of my run, in the middle of a lane, because she's calling me a gimp for sending it in. Her name's Nicole. Nice one, lads. See you later.
Well, the missus, he is not a gimp. He's a proud believer. He's a conscientious man. He's double, he's multitasking. He's on a run. You know, he's using that time wisely to speak to us as well. He could be down the pub with the boys. He could be enjoying himself. He could be sending video messages when he should be looking after the children. I'm sorry, but you need to file for divorce because she clearly doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. But what was the question? John Jones. John Jones.
I didn't know it was going to the divorce, but because I was going to add that. Like, well, honestly, if she doesn't shape up, you're going to have to.
Sounds like a miserable woman.
You're going to have to leave her. You're going to have to
leave her.
You can't send a question to the BYM. That should have been in your vows to begin with. So maybe he fucked up to begin with.
All jokes aside, I'm sure she's a lovely lady.
Yeah,
so shout out to your wife. Yeah. It's a stupid conversation. I'm just looking at the pound for pound. That's what I was just doing.
I mean, I think he goes to the top, right? He only wasn't at the top because of inactivity.
John Jones. Oh, he is. He's right. Yeah, there. Number 11. Inactivity. That's the only reason.
Yeah. I think he comes back, gets a win, especially if he looks real good and dominant. If he goes in there and he slides one out and barely gets it done, maybe there's another conversation to be had. But if he goes in there and he's the regular John Jones, you probably just give him his crown back.
But how about this, though? How about this? In the words of Daniel Cormier, the biggest upset in UFC history happens. Volkanovski beats Islam Makhachev. Does John Jones go to the top of the list still?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think Volkanovski beating Islam is. I don't think that he will. I just think that the size and the wrestling ability of Islam is going to be a lot. I don't think Volkanovski is going to get smoked. I don't think he's going to get blown out of water. But if he wins, I wouldn't be that shocked.
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. I think he's in this fight. Absolutely. Yeah, even Robert Whittaker was saying before, he said, when you train with Volk, the power, the strength that he has, and even now coming up to a different weight class, I think, I don't know who's going to win, but I think it's going to be a really competitive fight.
Yeah.
Again, we all know that the resume of John Jones, but Volkanovski's beaten Max Holloway 3 times and some great fighters, Brian Ortega, Chang Sung Jung, beat some great fighters. The 3 wins over Holloway, though, what really cement him at the top of that list right now. But, Ryan Bader, Shogun, Rampage Jackson, Lyoto Machida,
all those guys
Rashad Evans, Vito Belfort, Chael Sonnen, Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira, Daniel Cormier.
Don't you dare.
Oh, Vincent Prude, Daniel Cormier, Alexander Gustafsson, Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes. Anyway. Do you know what I saw today? Thiago Santos is no longer with the UFC. How did I not know that?
How'd you miss that? He's in the PFL.
I know. I was on an Instagram post. He's fighting this weekend, I think, in the PFL.
Oh, shit. Is he? I didn't know he's fighting this weekend.
Or fighting sometime soon. I don't know when it is. Yeah, but I was like, I don't know how I missed that. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, no, it is. Anyway, Brian, you jumped on the screen there, buddy. Did you have something to add or another question?
No, when I realized you were going through the list of all of his wins, I just disappeared. So we got one more question here from Haziel. He sent in a question last episode, and he has some editing skills.
Still from Houston here, with Larasenko making her UFC commentary debut this weekend. It begs the question: if any of you guys could choose one person to add to a UFC pay-per-view commentary team, who would you choose?
Me personally, I choose Joey Coco Diaz.
I'm a trained fucking assassin.
I want to see Khabib. That's the fight.
Habib.
That's it. End of story.
Make the most absolutely hilarious pay-per-view card ever, in my opinion.
Anyways, fuck the rain. Fuck the cold.
Fuck you, Harrington.
I want to see Khabib.
All over.
Oh, he is funny, Joey Diaz.
That's a great question. I'm going Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart?
I'm going Kevin Hart.
Oh, that's good. Comedian, eh?
I just think it'd be funny.
What did you think of when Snoop Dogg did it, though, on The Contender?
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny.
I never really saw it. Snoop is funny, though. He is good.
Yeah, he's funny.
What
so
about,
you see when Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart commentated the Olympics?
I didn't know. Hold on. I think I might have saw like a 30-second clip on Instagram or something.
Oh, it was great.
Brian, see if you can pull it up.
So
I want to see that.
I just want to follow up on that. Like, as a fighter, right? You're watching that back. Let's say the worst possible scenario happens, right? You get fucking folded like a table. And you've got Kevin Hart going, damn, he got like that is the soundtrack now that people have associated with you. As a fighter, would that not piss you off?
Yes.
Yeah, no matter what, it's going to piss you off. I was mad at Bisping for a long time.
Was
he
you
was
really?
nice to me.
Was you really?
We talked about this over the Glover fight.
Well, opinions.
You guys know Walter Goggins?
No.
The Navy SEAL. He's like an ultra marathon runner, and
No,
he's
that's David Goggins.
David Goggins.
I was gonna say he's related to David.
Yeah, he's the trans dude from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. My bad. David Goggins. That's who I want to see. Commentate a fight.
That'd be fucking cool.
I
too.
do have the video here of. I'm not sure if this is real or not, but here it is.
I like this. This is equestrian. This is prancing. They call this equestrian. By the way, look at that horse. Did you? Oh, the horse crip walking.
I've seen this. This is what I saw.
That's sick. That's gangsters of up. Hey! Oh, come. Oh, look at this, girl. Oh, come on, man. This horse is off the chain. I gotta get this motherfucker in a video.
Oh, that's it. That's the new commentary duo. That's who I want this weekend. You do not want me and Brendan Fitzgerald.
No.
You want Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg all day long.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh, God.
I'm with it.
It would be funny. All right. Well, that's the show. Mainly because I've been sitting here holding my penis for about 20 minutes because I'm dying for a pee.
Okay. Well,
what do you want to do with that information?
I'm going to go to the dentist.
You're going to the dentist?
Yeah, I cracked a veneer.
You fancy veneers.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of chewing on plastic.
Do you take those out when you fight?
No, they're permanent.
Because I remember Brock Lesnar after a fight one time, he had just his nubs out.
No.
During the post-fighting.
No, mine are permanent.
How did his knob out?
Nubs, like the tooth nubs.
No. All right, guys. Well, listen, enjoy the weekend. Derek Lewis, Sergey Spivak as well on Saturday. We'll be talking about that on Monday. We've got some good guests as well. Who we got next week? Who cares? It's the end of the show. But you'll know next week because they'll be on the show.
You'll know. We'll tell you.
You'll know. Take care. All the best. Goodbye.